Salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be talking about some historical romances that I have on my TBR, and they are the first 6 picks for the book club that I host with Jessica from Peace Love Books, the Historical Hellions. Is that the longest intro ever? Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys didn't know, I do have a book club called the Historical Hellions. It is a historical romance book club that I host with Jessica from Peace Love Books. Every month we pick a book, a historical romance that is published before the year 2000, and we're really trying to focus on old school authors, old school historical romance authors, the authors that kind of like built the building blocks for the genre, if that makes sense. And we are on our 3rd year. Our 3rd year. Like, to me that is so crazy because I feel like I haven't even been on BookTube that long, but I have. How crazy. Pick a book each month. So we've already read 24 books in this book club, which is kind of cool to know. And we're continuing it for our 3rd year. We will be picking a book every single month, and we will have live shows on each other's channel. We like flip-flop back and forth. So I'm going to be talking about the first 6 books that we picked. We like to pick these really early and in advance so you guys have the opportunity to get them. A lot of these books are published so long ago, 20 plus years ago. There's not always an audiobook or an ebook for them, so we try to make it as accessible as possible, but again, sometimes there just is not an audiobook for the books. So yeah, let me talk about the first 6 books. This is also kind of like a yearly TBR because obviously I will be reading these books for the book club. Now I know that it's become like a reoccurring joke that like I'm not very good at reading books for my own book club. I always wait till the last minute, like either the day before or sometimes the day of. I cannot do that to myself this year. I feel like it's so stressful. So I'm gonna be so good, guys, and actually read these books in advance. Okay, so the first book is our January pick, and I have all of these books, but I don't know where they are because my shelves are very messy. So I'm probably just gonna pop them here on the screen. The first one is Reckless by Amanda Quick. And in Amanda Quick, I think our first year, maybe it was the second one, and I loved that book. I really did, and I have been looking forward to reading another Amanda Quick. This one follows our heroine Phoebe, who is adventurous and wild and reckless, and she's kind of hell-bent on solving this mystery and finding this murderer. So she ends up writing a letter to our hero, who she believes is like this knight, and basically asks him for his help to find this murderer. I believe our heroine is an author or a publisher. I know Amanda Quick really does love writing like blue stocking heroines, and both our hero and our heroine kind of have like an enemies to lovers vibe because they're both looking for the same like medieval manuscripts and they're trying to find it before the other one finds it. Amanda Quick loves writing romances that are steeped with adventure. A lot of her books are very plot driven and have that adventure vibe. Her heroines tend to be very intelligent, and I am super excited to read this one. Next one is Vivid by Beverly Jenkins. I did have this cover because Beverly Jenkins has her own shelf, so it was easy to find. Look at it. Gorgeous. Stunning. I am so excited to read this one. I love Beverly Jenkins. She was actually the first author that we picked for our book club. We read Night Song our very first year, and I always love Beverly Jenkins. I give all her books 5 stars. This one, our heroine is a doctor, and she is really struggling to make a name for herself. In this time, people don't allow her to be a doctor because 1, she's a woman, and 2, she's a person of color. So she ends up getting invited to move to like this small town to open up her own practice. But when she gets there, our hero actually thought that she was a man. Yeah, again, she feels like she has to prove herself in her career, and it follows the romance, and I just love everything that Beverly Jenkins does, so I'm excited to read this one. The next one is Thunder and Roses by Mary Jo Putney. I've never read a Mary Jo Putney book. This will be my first one. Have I read one by her? No, I don't think, no, we haven't read one by her in our book club, and I don't think I've read one by myself. I have a really bad memory, so maybe I have. I'm pretty sure I haven't. This is the first book in the Fallen Angels series, and our heroine is a teacher, and she is basically writing a letter to our hero. He is in charge of kind of like running the town. She's writing a letter to him to explain like all the things that the children needs, and she's trying to make the town better, and he is very jaded, and he ends up basically propositioning her and saying like, if you spend 90 days with me, kind of like a situationship of convenience where she spends 90 days with him doing whatever he tells her to do, that he will follow all her demands. So yeah, it follows their romance, and I'm very interested to read this one. The next one I am the most excited about. I am so excited. It is Virgin Fire by Elizabeth Chadwick. Now, if you were in the live show where we picked this book, it was hilarious, okay? I picked up this book because if you look at the cover, our heroine is sitting in a bathtub, okay? And on the back of the book in the synopsis, it literally describes this book as Tale of a Tub. And I just think it's so funny, like a bathtub romance. Like, I love historicals. Our heroine is married, but her and her husband are estranged. He's like this rich oil tycoon, and she is one of the only people in the entire town that has a bathtub, and he wants to use her bathtub. Let me read the synopsis so you guys can see. Everyone's name is Jessica, which is funny. Anyways, though Jessica was hesitant to grant him weekly bathing rights, she soon changed her mind when Travis turned his Saturday night ablution into a wet and wild seduction. Here at last was one man who was more thrilling when he was downright dirty. Okay! Like, I am so ridiculously excited to read this one because it's such a bonkers plot. It's an estranged marriage in trouble, and they end up bonding over, like, sharing a bathtub. I can't. I literally cannot. And then really quickly, I'm just going to talk about the last two ones without going over the synopsis because they are further on in the year. So for May's pick, we're going to be reading Devil's Bride by Stephanie Lawrence. I have read a few Stephanie Lawrence before and I enjoyed them, so I'm excited to read this one. Then for June, we're going to be reading Wild Land, Wild Love by Connie Mason. We read a Connie Mason last year and it was pretty bonkers, a very unique plot. I believe this one takes place in Australia. There's kangaroos on the cover of the book, which I thought was interesting. This was another one I really wanted to read because I just felt like the cover and the plot sounded so unique and different. So I'm excited to read this one too. Those are the 6 books that we're going to be reading for the Historical Hellions. I am the most excited about The Tale of a Tub. But yeah, let me know which book you're most excited for and if you will be joining us this year. That's it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the absolute world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video.